Hello and welcome to the next video in my attempt at the hardcore challenge for Terraria. My name is Creator Unreal, and I'll be your narrator for this video. I'm hoping to not be doing a whole lot of post-commentary videos, because the main reason I'm doing these is I forgot to turn on my mic while recording this hour-long session. Fortunately, after this video, there is one other video that will be post-commentated, and then you'll actually get normal commentary for once. This is actually take two at me recording, because when I tried to record the first post-commentary for this, the audio settings got completely messed up, and there was this nice little echo effect on my voice. Except it didn't stop, so you'd be hearing stuff I was saying from minute 1 all the way near the end of the video. And right now I'm finally making the anvil out of 5 iron bars, so I could start making not wooden tools. As hilarious as it is to beat things over across the head with a wooden stick, it won't help me in the long run. So here I actually make the iron broadsword. It's a nice little improvement to the wooden sword, because I need that little bit of extra damage, and also I make a chest. Now the main reason for the chest is, one, so I can actually clear up inventory space. I don't necessarily like having a cluttered inventory. It's alright if I'm have been gone for a long while away from my little base. But whenever I'm just doing it, I like to have it nice and organized, which right now my little top bar isn't as organized as it could be. Because it's a little bit hard for me to select things if I'm trying to do something else. And right now I'm actually making bottles, which you can make from glass, which is made from the sand I was harvesting at the very beginning of this particular video, and a little bit of the end of the last. And with these bottles I can make potions, but in order to actually make potions, you need to get an alchemy station, which isn't that hard. You just take a bottle and plop it right on top of the workbench or a table. I prefer to do it on a workbench because that way I can have a nice little, everything's all nice and organized together. I have the workbench right there, along with the furnace and iron. So, short of some of the other, barring a handful of recipes that require you to be at a table, I could pretty much make most anything I need as long as I have the right materials. And the main reason why I pick the broadswords over the short swords is broadswords have an overhead swinging animation, so that you can hit aerial enemies really well. Whereas the short swords, they have a forward stabbing motion. The short swords are a little bit quicker, but I really don't find that to be all that useful. Especially since you're only thrusting forward a la Link. And right now I'm just trying to get, see if I can actually get some more slimes to spawn, so I can get more gel. As gel is probably one of the more, it's a very versatile item, as it's used for a few different recipes. The main one you'll encounter using gel in is making torches, which is just a piece of wood and a piece of gel, and you get 3 torches. Voila, instant light. But it's also used in making sticky bombs, which you need 5 gel and a bomb, and you essentially make a blue version of the bomb that will stick to walls. And only walls, I should, well, not walls, the actual terrain. It won't stick to enemies or other players, unfortunately. Whether or not this is a good thing is not to be said by me, because I haven't messed around with them yet. And the other thing, and probably what a lot of people will be using gel for as well, is actually making potions. I don't remember the exact recipes on hand right now, but for like the basic lesser healing potion, you need 2 bottles, 1 mushroom, and 2 gel to make 2 lesser healing potions, which restore 100 health each. And those lesser healing potions can actually be bought by, from the merchant. But sometimes it's just, I just find it quicker, and especially if you're running out of storage, or if you have a few stacks of gel and a whole bunch of mushrooms just lying around with nothing to do with them. And later on, assuming I survive that long, when I start to encounter glowing mushrooms, I can begin to make normal healing potions, which restore 200 health. And it's just 2 lesser healing potions and a glowing mushroom. Essentially, you're just condensing 2 potions into one. What the glowing mushroom has to do with that, maybe it just thickens it. In which case, yum. But right now, I'm making a quick little wall on my little out carving in the lake. That way, monsters don't spawn there. And monsters will not spawn on wooden, stone, or brick walls, unless they're the colored brick walls you get from the actual dungeon or dirt. In which case, well, monsters will still spawn. And this is one of the reasons why I hate the guide, because he just refuses to jump up a block. And the zombies, they'll just beat on that door forever until either you open it or the night ends. Barring it being a blood moon, in which case they'll just kind of happily open the door. But right now I'm actually extending this tunnel down, as this will possibly being my main way into the underground later on. And I just think it's a little bit tedious, but every so often I'm putting down a wooden platform. That way I could descend a bit safer. Right, because 1, I don't have a grappling hook, and 2, I think it just looks a little bit nicer, just having a wooden platform down every so often. And what you're also seeing me do is, I'll just break away one block a little bit into the actual ground and put a torch there. That way I can get a bit of lighting, and also to see if there are any ores on the other side. And actually using a torch, I actually was able to see this little vein of iron ore, which will help me a little bit early on. But I'm hoping sooner rather than later I can upgrade to either gold or silver tools and equipment. And using a torch, I see another little vein of iron as well. It was a little bit hard to see. What I actually did, I'd actually put my face up close to my monitor. But every little bit of iron helps, especially if you can get it safely. I just put a little bit of light there, that way I know I've actually completely explored that. I'll just take some of the dirt I've mined and just kind of wall it off, that way I don't accidentally go in there later. Which I might end up just going in there later for that mud, assuming I survive long enough to get glowing mushroom seeds, which you can make your own mushroom farm with. And then we just dig a little bit more. Torch. I got a little bit lucky with where I started to dig this, because usually, with my luck, whenever I'm digging straight down, I rarely actually directly encounter ores. I don't know why I didn't decide to wall this one up. Maybe I thought since it was just it was so small, it didn't really matter. And then also, if I somehow manage to die in this tunnel, well, in this section of this tunnel, I'm an idiot. Sorry if I'm not telling you this, I just couldn't think of anything else to talk about while I was making this tunnel. Did a little bit of checking when I climbed up to make sure it was actually working properly. As you press down to actually just drop from a wooden platform. But I've yet to find a purpose for the up button. I'm not sure if it has one. Sometimes I get up confused with jump. But that's from playing too many Flash games, to be honest. And then I go overboard and actually finally hit a cave. Which is both good and bad in the long run. Because sometimes I forget to... whenever I just want to go straight down, sometimes I forget to wall off caves I want to explore. And I just forget the route I took. There's also a nice little blue slime in the water, which has proven to be the most lethal thing to me in this game. And I don't know if I actually noticed it, but you can barely see there's a red slime jumping over on the right. There's indicating there's actually another cave over there, which I may or may not explore. Here I'm making taking all that iron ore. You need 3 iron ore to make 1 bar. And then it takes me a little bit to actually decide what to make. I almost thought about making a bucket for some crazy reason, but I decided to go with an iron pickaxe. It's much better than it's a little bit better than the copper one, which unfortunately I can't get rid of my old tools right now, as I have no merchant. And that was the sound of a falling star. Which I actually I will need a good amount of them later on. You can take 10 falling stars and actually turn them into a mana crystal, which can actually increase your maximum mana. You start off at a maximum of 0. But ultimately, you can get your mana maximum up to 200. And then it will end up, and you'll definitely see it once I actually start getting enough stars for a mana crystal. But the mana will show up on the right side of the game window. And once again, I don't necessarily feel comfortable dealing with the demon eyes just yet. And here's me trying to place I was jumping up, wanted to place a torch, 2 to see what all's over there. There's a little bit of copper and a small chunk of iron as well. As for working underwater, unless you're completely not paying attention to your breath meter, especially with these smaller pools, it's a bit hard to actually drown. Especially later on, when you actually start working with bigger pools, if you're all about getting a metric ton of obsidian. But even then, whenever you're deep in a pool, you can just make your own breathing area, which I'll probably end up showing it in a later video. And here I'm trying to place a wooden platform. For some reason, I thought that the actual dotted stone background was a wall. It's not, actually. That's just air. And also, you can't place the wooden platforms underwater. So what I decided to do is just make a little pillar of some building material and just place it on the top of that. Which is it's really helpful if you're trying to place a platform in a specific spot and you can't because there's nothing for the platform to latch onto, as it were. Jump fail. And I'm gonna end. And I'm going to go ahead and, you'll have to excuse a little bit of the black space as I wasn't paying attention to the end of this video again. I'll probably put up some nifty little text saying, oops. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. And I will be putting up another part later today, so I hope you all enjoyed this installment.